she ultimately, I don't think she ever came up to even look at it. But she gave Dave an option to buy it. And Dave sold it and exercised the option. And so she got cashed out. I think he made a little profit out of it. Oh, I'm sure he would have been disappointed that she sold it because he had planted a lot of Norway pines on that property. Had a very unusual octagon outhouse. A very nice outhouse on that property. And of course, it made some improvements to that boathouse. It needed a lot more improvements, but unfortunately, the people that bought it from Dave didn't do a lot of checking into the laws, and so they tore down the boathouse to build a better boathouse, and then found out that Minnesota law now says you can't build boathouses, and they could have torn down half of that boathouse and called it repair and rebuilt half of it and then torn down the other half and still had a boathouse, which would increase the value of the property substantially because people can't build boathouses anymore. But, well, to start off, the cabin that was up there, the one that burned down, Dad built that pretty much as like a prefab in his garage at home in the sections that could be locked together. And then when Karen and Phil got married, they came here for their honeymoon. They were here, I believe, for a month. Phil put the cabin together, which didn't make Karen real happy because she was sitting over there all day long and her new husband was over here just getting himself worn, pooped out, putting together that building. And well, I'm sure the second building was the outhouse. The third building, I believe, was the sauna. Well, I'm not sure they were either the annex, the Bears Cave, or the sauna. Both were built with the same stuff. So Dad had gotten a whole bunch of 2x6s that had been the tongue groove 2x6s that were the platform for a railroad station in Kelly Lake, Minnesota. And they were all coated with tar, which Grandma had to scrape off all the tar, which was a bigger job than the lumber was probably worth, but he got it for free, so anything was free, he took it. So that was the roof of the annex and the sauna. So they, as far as their timing, they came fairly close together, but which came first, I can't remember. And of course, it was on the roof of the sauna that Dad, your grandpa ran his skill saw down his, got snagged on his pan leg and laid top of whatever this muscle is, laid it wide open. And we had to take him to Cook Hospital for a whole bunch of stitches, I don't know how many. And that, of course, scared the wits out of Grandma. Well, he came back with all his stitches, and believe me, it looked like railroad tracks running up this leg. He knew that Grandma was extremely worried, and of course, that some of that worry would carry over fear of what could happen in the wilderness, and et cetera, et cetera. So he wanted to make a show to her that it's no big deal. So when he got back, he would like doing a little tap dance in the living room over there. Well, I was pissed that Novocaine hadn't worn off yet. The next day he wasn't dancing any jigs. But I think he accomplished what he was trying to accomplish. That's no biggie. And of course the annex was a bedroom and the tool house. And the highlight of the tool house is your workbench that I hope you always value, because that workbench came from Denmark. It's a true carpenter's workbench. It's got the pull-out pegs and everything for whatever they do in woodworking that requires such, but nobody will ever steal it because it can't get through the door. It was put in there and the walls put around it. And how he got that up there, I don't know, because it's beastly heavy. I wasn't here for that, so I don't know. Those little stairs are cast iron, and they were the fire escape for, I believe, either City Hall or the library in North Hibbing, which the entire town was moved 2 miles south because of iron ore being discovered under the town. And somehow or other, Dad found out about the fire escape, and I don't know if he got them for free or whatever, but they ended up here. They were barged up, and they were supposed to be dropped at probably about where your dock is right now. But whoever dropped them down at where the bridge is. And they sat there for, I believe, a couple of years because they're just absolutely beastly heavy. And finally, Dave had a bunch of insurance guys up here. I think there was 13 of them. And so Grandpa asked them if, when they were taking a break, if they could come over and move those 2 sections over there. They came over and tried, and they couldn't move them. So they reported that they couldn't and went back to playing cards. While they were playing cards, Grandpa and Grandma moved them over to where they are, in place up the hill, while they were playing cards. Those insurance guys just absolutely couldn't believe it, because they had tried and they couldn't move it. Well, he came back with all his stitches, and believe me, it looked like railroad tracks running up his leg. He knew that Grandma was extremely worried, and of course, that some of that worry would carry over fear of what could happen in the wilderness, and et cetera, et cetera. So he wanted to make a show to her that it's no big deal. So when he got back, he would like doing a little tap dance in the living room over there. Well, I was pissed that Novocaine hadn't worn off yet. The next day he wasn't dancing any jigs. But I think he accomplished what he was trying to accomplish. That's no biggie.